Welcome to Anything New. My name is Pete, and as always, I'm here with Matt
What's up?
and Opie.
Hello, world.
Anything New is a podcast where we talk about anything new we've been using, perusing, or consuming. Episode 4, next World of Warcraft expansion finally gets a release date. Matt finishes his samurai training, and Opie dusts off an RPG classic. But first, Gamescom, the largest video game trades fair located in Cologne, Germany, took place over the weekend. Guys, there was a lot to unpack from this. Trailers, teasers.
There
What
was
kind
a
of stood out to you guys?
there was a lot, and unfortunately, I didn't get to watch as much as I would like to, as I would have liked to have, because first you've got the time difference. So opening
Right.
night live was at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon
Yeah.
here, and normally I'm able to watch this kind of stuff even if it is during the workday, but it just so happened that Thursday and Friday I was slammed at work, so I actually didn't get to just sit and watch it like I normally do, and then this weekend was busy too, so. I didn't see as much as I wanted to, and I hate to say it, but
Well, luckily we
just
were
how it
able to
was.
go back, and IGN did a really good job of kind of cataloging everything and putting together some little highlights of trailers and things like that. So it was good for that. Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. Did you guys
So
see the trailer on that?
I think that
Mhm.
looks fantastic. When I first heard about it before Gamescom, I kind of thought, okay, great. Lego games are fun, and this looks fun too.
Yeah.
But I rewatched the trailer that they showed at Gamescom, and it actually looks quite a bit different. Which it almost looks. I don't know if it's the whole game, but it almost looks like third person. Kind of,
Yeah,
whereas the other ones were like top down, and I kind of dug it. Whatever, I don't know if it's the whole game or just certain parts, but
yeah. It looks
whatever it
like
was, I was
kind
into
of
it.
changed the point of view.
Yeah,
Uh, and you're right. It looks like it might be a little bit more story based since it's kind of like going with the whole saga. And I was kind of confused in the beginning too because I have some of the older Lego games that are Star Wars. Like I have like a Clone Wars one, so I didn't really understand exactly how this was going to work. But it looks like there's going to be a series of one for each of the movies, but you can play, and then each one will have like its own story, but you can play through any of them as you want, kind of. And they have like different missions and
Yeah, I didn't know when I watched the trailer if they're going to just take the parts out of the original, trilogy and the complete collection of Lego and just kind of mash them all together, maybe add some stuff here and there, but pretty much everything I saw in the trailer was playable in the Lego Star Wars. I played most of them.
well, yeah, but
Did
it
you
didn't.
guys?
But it looked like all new gameplay, though. I don't think they're just taking the old games and sandwiching them
right,
together. I mean, it looked new, like
Would you?
almost like
yeah,
a remake,
yeah.
almost. Maybe that's what I'm guessing.
Okay. That's what I
But
was worried about. I thought they were just going to pick the Skywalker levels out
oh
of
right,
the original games and just like
hmm.
here's one game with just that Skywalker storyline. But I don't know.
Well, it looks like they're saying you'll be able to start the game from any of the 9 Skywalker Saga episodes and complete them in any order you wish. Each episode will have 5 story missions, making a total of 45 levels.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I
but
think I'm in. I think I'm in for this.
oh yeah, I love that Lego humor that
Yeah,
they have. It makes it like the if you haven't seen the trailer, listeners, go watch the trailer because it's really well done and you'll get some laughs in it too. I think.
yeah, I'm in. I'm sold.
Let's see what Genshin Impact. If you guys don't know what Genshin Impact is, I think a lot of people are going to learn or find out about this year because I think it's kind of going to be a hit. It's going to be on every platform, free to play. So I don't want to say it's going to be the next Fortnite, but as far as like an action ish
Yeah, I don't
or
know about.
MMO ish RPG ish, it's going to
Is
be
it? Is it every platform? Isn't it just PS4, PC, and mobile
in
or
and
Switch? I'm not
Switch.
sure.
Yeah, and Switch. It's going to
Okay.
be on Switch.
Yeah,
Yep.
it looks kind of like it looks like I'm just saying visually, it looks like an anime version of Breath of the Wild from a visual
Yeah.
perspective, which
Sure.
that just checks all the boxes for me. Gameplay looks fun too. The thing that does concern me is free to play because I just don't know what kind of cash shop type stuff we may be
Yeah.
looking at.
Hopefully, it's just like cosmetic stuff, or you know, hopefully it's not total pay to win.
Hopefully, it's not like super grindy and stuff. But if the gameplay's fun, I'll do the same thing over and over. I don't care.
It looks great. It's called Genshin Impact, and it's Michael, have you seen? We kind of watched the trailer together like a couple weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah. I hope it's not too anime-ish to fall into that niche because I mean I don't know if it'll pick up like Fortnite popularity just because of that fact. There's not really I don't know how
Well,
much.
I'm struggling with y'all's comparison to Fortnite because it's not like a battle royale.
No, but it's going to be free to play.
Free, yeah, free to play.
You'll be able to play it on any platform.
Yeah, I
and
got you.
cross play, and you can also like whatever your progression is. So you're playing on PS4, and then you go to the dentist, and you're sitting there, and you pop it up on your phone and continue on with your character.
That's pretty neat.
It's
So-
action role playing, so
Yeah.
yeah.
But one of the
Yeah.
things that I watched it was kind of like it's it doesn't really it's a little bit of an MMO. There's like areas where it's MMO ish. And it's
Okay.
but I think you'll be able to do like some co-op stuff, but it's mostly single player. But you'll be able to kind of interact with people, like as if you were in like a big city hub. I think
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure, but
It's as long as the world's open, it looks great. Of course, it's always going to look great, but an open world, especially with a free to play game, is a big deal. Like Black Desert Online was free to play too, and it was super anime-ish as well, and it kind of got a little bit repetitive. I played a little bit of that, but yeah, I'm if free to play, I'm definitely going to try it out.
Yeah, I'm
'cause
down to try
I
it
like
for sure.
myself some animes, and I like myself some RPGs too. So
yeah, I like this.
Checks all your boxes too, then I guess.
yeah, I'm checking boxes and taking.
Did you
names.
guys see the Unknown 9?
I
trailer?
did, and I don't know what to make of it, but I'm totally in. They did say that this was going to be more of a single player
Yeah,
story based game,
right.
A la Uncharted, Tomb Raider. Not sure if the gameplay is like those games,
Sure.
but just it's a single player game that takes you on a journey. Last of
Right.
Us, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
That one trailer, I don't know what was going on, but I'm sold. I'm in. I'm
I
gonna
thought
keep my eye on it and
It
see what
looked like
happens.
a good movie. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh, they should
Whoa.
continue this trailer straight into. It's like a young Indian girl, and it looks like from the trailer she kind of discovers that she has some powers.
Yeah.
In the trailer, and there's no gameplay footage, so it's just kind of like just a trailer to kind of show off the narrative of the game. But it looks good. I mean, I'm in.
Is it an exclusive? What's the platforms?
It's PC and next gen consoles.
Right.
Okay, so it's not a PS4.
No, I don't think it's exclusive to any one. I might be wrong. That's the thing is I know almost nothing about it except that one trailer, but it was enough to pique my interest. It was cool because the trailer showed the little girl putting something like behind it, like a loose brick, like hiding something. And then at the very end of the trailer, it showed a set of more adult hands pulling that brick out. So what I'm thinking is, we see, that's her. That's the main character as a little girl. Maybe we play as her as more of an adult. But after that, like the splash screen for the game showed a bunch of characters, and it said you can follow the story at unknown9.com. I can't quite remember what the URL was, but so I do want to maybe look and see learn a bit more about the story and the characters, but I don't have a clue. Maybe you're playing her as a child and as an adult, kind of half and half. I don't know, but either way, I'm definitely keeping an eye on it.
Michael, I know you're the big Star Wars nerd in the group. I know you're probably keeping an eye on Star Wars Squadrons.
Yes. This really looks great. I'm really excited for it because I honestly have a machine now that's probably going to run this type of game. Before, when Battlefronts, and then Battlefronts 2 came out. Everybody was super excited about Battlefronts 2, their squadron based levels or the PvP until if they hadn't went with pay to win for Battlefronts 2 Squadron, it would have been. It's still awesome to play. It looks so good just for being that, and this is going to look just even better. I mean, it's just pretty much, PvP, and there's a campaign.
Where you get to play as both sides, the rebels
Yes.
and the Empire.
Yep. Yes.
And I think it flip flops. I want to say it flip flops between one side and the other. So then, if in that case, it has sort of that Last of Us 2 feel where you play as one side and you're gung ho to get the other side, but then you play the other side and you're like, maybe they're not so bad. Although the Empire's supposed to be bad, but we'll see. It kind of gives you both sides of the story. So that'll be interesting to see if we feel any different about the Empire after that.
I hope it shows a lot of both sides, and especially just like it looks like there's some new ships and some things that just the way the drop ships bring ties into battle, and then you being inside a TIE fighter, and it's a lot of stuff you don't get from the movies or a lot of other games. Everybody remembers X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, where you could play as a TIE Fighter, but that was generations ago.
Well, don't forget about Rogue Squadron on what was that on GameCube, I think.
Yes, there was a Rogue Squadron on N64, and then there was a GameCube, a better version on the GameCube.
Yeah, so I think about those games. Well, I think of this as sort of like a next gen major upgrade version of those games, because those games are all about.
It looks amazing.
Have you had a chance to look at the ships? On like the Star Wars Squadron website, you can kind of go through the different ships that are on there. There's one that's a TIE Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! It just look. You know how they'll kind of show a new one, like when the first time we see the TIE Bomber or the TIE Interceptor, and we're like, what? Yeah, this TIE Reaper just looks. It looks awesome.
I'm looking it up now. We'll be the judge of this. Anyway.
You can go to like the Republic hangar and look at the ships on there, and it's just like like the Y-wing and
October 2nd. Holy crap! That's just next week.
It's like a month from now.
Yeah,
October
next month.
Whoa, I totally lost a.
Next month is September.
I'm sorry. Pre-order.
But they the different modes. There's like a dogfight mode, fleet battles where you can play in like huge battles with your friends.
Yes.
Like big co-ops, and then there's just a straight single-player storyline you'll be able to play too.
I'm going to say the fleet battles are going to be kind of like the space battle royale. Would you say?
Ooh,
I mean, I don't know how big the galaxy could be. Could you imagine it shrinking down?
Like 50 ships drop out of a Imperial Star Destroyer at the same time.
And the others on the other side of the galaxy. You might fight in an asteroid field where there are places to hide.
Oh, that would be
come
awesome.
out, and you could fly on the surface of planets or something like. Oh, that would be a cool one. You get more of the surface, like the speeder type ships that fly along the surface of planets, and you drop into that area.
You get some of that in Lego Star Wars.
What?
Like what are they in episode 8 when they're on the white sand planet at the end? There's
the red lines.
Yeah, there's some of that in that game. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. And I don't think we actually explained. It's so in Squadrons, it's just like spaceships. You're just fighting in your ship. You don't actually.
Which was the best part of like Battlefront 2.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think that's one that maybe I'm interested in it, but I think I'm interested in it when like it's on sale. I don't know that I'll get it right at the beginning.
What? Not even like to co-op with us?
Maybe. Well, if everybody else gets it, yeah. But you know our track record trying to play games as a group.
Well,
I know. Well, some of us.
And hey, don't judge me if I wear a helmet like while I play. I wish I had an X-wing. There's a Black Series X or a TIE Fighter, or I'm sorry, X-wing helmet. I think it's Luke's X-wing helmet you could get. It's one of those collectible helmets.
Yeah,
that you can actually
it looks
wear.
awesome.
Can you drop down like the blaster cover and like use the force?
Yeah,
instead of being able to look.
Yep.
Let's see. Scarlet Nexus was a game that.
Yeah, I don't know much about this one. It's totally anime, third-person action. I don't know if it's got much of I don't know if it's like an action RPG or if it's more story-based. I don't have a clue. I just thought that it looked cool. I like anime. I like action games. So
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
it's definitely those. I mean, the animations of like all the attacks and like your abilities and stuff were
yeah,
awesome looking.
because it looks like there's different characters with each with their own powers and.
And it's made by Bandai, so uh,
So yeah, maybe they're kind of hit or miss on some of their games, but I'm definitely it's one to keep your eye on for sure.
yeah, it's PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, and PC. So no Switch. Wah.
Meh, oh well.
Womp womp.
But 4K, it says it's 4K Xbox One X enhanced. Yeah, it'll be cool. I mean, I'll check it out. It looks like it's something you could just kind of like mindlessly play.
Yeah.
Little Nightmares 2. Did you guys see the trailer for that?
No, but
Oh
Little
my
Yeah.
Nightmares.
gosh.
Little
I showed
Nightmares 1 was amazing.
Little Not, yeah,
yes.
was great.
So this is pretty much more of that, but even spookier. I brought Peyton down. I was like, dude, watch this game because he loves to play like the scary games.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah,
it looked
and
like
so
this one had co-op.
well, I saw
What?
two. I don't know. I saw. I didn't know if that other character that was on there was a
Were you like
playable
to
character or it was just
What?
like a.
Right.
help
a
each other?
Well, I
I
don't
don't know.
know, and I wonder if it's kind of like a Unravel and Unravel 2 from EA. The two little yarn characters.
Right.
Yeah, it's
I'm sorry, just Unravel 2 had two different characters, and you could either play single player and control them both, or you could actually play couch co-op and one control. So I wonder if it's going to be something like that, or if maybe the second character is just all AI all the time. I don't know, but it, yeah, I mean, if you play that with a buddy, turn the lights off,
Yeah.
and especially if it's
woo.
online. Yeah, Little Nightmares was creepy AF, and I want to play this one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I was watching our buddy Dan stream Little Nightmares 1 and it was I didn't want to look away, but it was scary.
Yeah. Something about like the little porcelain dolls. Anytime
Mm,
there's those are like in movies, like with their cracked faces and stuff, like that
But
kind of
this
stuff.
whole
Just
world, they're so much smaller than everything else. Well, they're not. It looks like everything's to scale. It's just the monsters or whatever were so much bigger. Like when they stick their hands out from behind the walls and try to
oh
get you,
yeah,
or they're looking from the look at this. I'm watching the trailer now. It's scary.
yeah. Little Nightmares 2.
but he's watching it like with his head half turned.
It's like one of those for those who don't know. It's like did you ever play Limbo or like one of those
Yeah,
style games where it's like
inside. Yeah,
beautiful art design, like side scroller, like puzzles and just like looks really handcrafted. But like dark and spooky and creepy.
yeah,
Wow, this is that's so cool. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, that looks really good.
that trailer spooked me out, man.
Oh man. Why did they make the second little dude with like a triangle head like the guy from
for
Silent Hill?
Silent Hill.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know.
What they
The
call
little
him?
partner dude has his little cardboard hat is like made into a triangle. Ooh, that guy had a fedora on. It looked like Freddy at the end. Anyway, spoiler.
Yeah, I
Let's
Okay.
like
see.
that one.
Watch video game trailers with Opie. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, we should do OP reacts.
Opie
YouTube.
Oh
reacts.
no,
to
no,
It's
Little
a
not
Nightmares.
spooky video
Let
no,
me
game.
turn the lights off in the basement here.
no
Watch
react,
what
no reacts videos, please.
Origami 2.
Yeah, so thinking about the thing we're gonna be talking about next, I've got the first Origami. I think on a couple different platforms, and I've never played it anywhere. But it's I love stealth games, and it's just sort of
Yeah.
a stealth. I don't want to say stealth ninja, but it is feudal Japan era. Think
Yeah.
about that kind of feel, but it's based around stealth, and you've got these shadow abilities, and the second one looks more the same, but with three different characters instead of just the one, and co-op
Yeah, I
with
thought it
up
looked
to three players, which is pretty neat.
I mean, all these games, just the art style in these games are just incredible. Like I thought everything that I watched, I mean, everything's just looking so good. I don't know if it's just the new technology with the next gen consoles, but man, the environments look so good. And
Yeah,
this one I think looks great too. Like I love the art style.
yeah, it made
So
me want to pick up and play the first one for
does it?
finally.
I never played it. Does it look similar to this one?
Yeah, it's similar. This one visually looks a little better, but it's
Yeah,
the same style of game as the first one. First one only came out in 2016, so it's not like it's last gen or anything. But
sure.
this one looks even more polished, I guess. But it made me want to break this one out. I might stream it some this coming week or something. I'm not
Ooh,
sure.
this looks like a Bumpkins TV exclusive
That's right.
blue stream games.
Maybe we'll see. I like being stealthy, or I like trying to be stealthy, and I mess it up and just have to go balls
What's
out
up
and
with
kill
these?
everybody.
What's up with just like the Japanese culture games just rolling out one right after the other? Like lately, like you got this one, and then you got the one that we mentioned earlier, and then of course Tsushima.
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
don't
It's
know,
just
but I love it.
yeah, there's a market for it. I'm sure they had a panel somewhere that was like, "Well, what could we get into next?" And it's like, "Well, this is graded really high. All right, let's go with
Let's do it.
that culture." Well, speaking of Ghost of Tsushima, congrats to Matt. He finished his samurai training and completed the story. Did you? So you completed the story. I have not. I'm still on uh, part two, I guess.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Chapter two or
Act two.
Act two?
Yeah.
So I'm probably like 20% into Act two, so not very far at all out of three acts. But how, without obviously without giving away any spoilers, were you pleased with the ending?
Yes,
Ooh, wow, good.
I was pleased with the ending. I thought it was pretty neat. I thought it's pretty much the only way it could have gone. Um, so yeah, it was totally cool rolling credits on that, and I got the platinum trophy for doing all the. I got all the trophies, which is pretty cool. So thanks to friends of the show, Dan, J Dub, and Lou, for helping me get those last few because I actually finished the story the night before I got the platinum. So I finished the story and I was like, man, I've only got like 5 trophies left. And I normally I don't care about getting platinum trophies. I've only ever done it
Yeah.
one other time with Spider-Man on PS4, but this one I was so close. I was like, man, I got to do it. So the next I had finished the story, I streamed it one more night just to get the trophies, and those guys helped me get it. Helped me figure out which ones were left and how to do them and stuff like that. So yeah, I got all the trophies, finished the story, like everything's done. So there's nothing left to do except for wait for that multiplayer DLC stuff to come out.
Were you able to
So
complete it on hard?
Yeah,
Like was the last boss? It wasn't.
yeah, I
I
did.
know,
Oh,
I know you
and
were
the last
stuck there
boss.
for a while.
Yeah, no, the last boss fight. It took me several tries, but I was able to do it, and it was super fun. The last
Yeah.
boss fight was very fun.
Good.
It wasn't just a straight up duel. There was
Right.
different things to it, and it was very creative, and it was a really fun way to finish the game.
Well, that's awesome. Were you
yeah,
gonna say something, Opie?
yeah, I was gonna ask Matt. Like, I remember watching you starting this game. How close were you to not even finishing this game because you were frustrated at certain parts of it?
Well, I only ever got really frustrated just once. The very first time I had to straight up duel somebody, and they were just so overwhelmingly more powerful than me.
Yeah.
But after I went around, skilled up some stuff, picked up a couple different suits of armor, got a couple different abilities, that kind of thing. When I did that, and then I went back to the first guy who I tried for a half an hour, could not beat. I beat him the first try within like 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's all about getting the right equipment, getting the right skills, that kind of thing. So no, I never felt frustrated
That's good.
past that point. That was just that one moment of weakness.
I just didn't want you to put the Dark Souls tag on this game.
Well, no, this is not. No, this game doesn't cheat like Dark Souls does.
Dude, I love Ghost of Tsushima. I think I think they did an outstanding job.
Yeah,
So if you're listening and you have a PS4, you should buy it. It gets the anything new seal of approval.
that's right.
Boom.
Okay, Opie, it's your turn.
What?
You dusted off a little bit of a classic here.
Yeah, you
Tell us
did.
tell us what you've been playing.
Well, I just started getting a retro itch, and wanted to play an old RPG, and I played a few RPGs in my time, but there's one that's a little bit unique. It came out for the Super NES, and everybody's going to know what it is, called Earthbound. And
Let me stop you right there for a second. Not only did Opie play Earthbound, Opie streamed Earthbound for an hour, and it was kind of like, You know, like when Beyonce just drops a single at midnight and nobody knew it was coming. She just drops a single and the world gets set on fire. Beyonce just dropped a new song. Opie out of nowhere just doesn't even tell anybody. He just starts streaming Earthbound out of
Wow.
nowhere, and
I would love to start streaming a couple of retro games, especially RPGs, where I can a game I know nothing about. Like the only reason that Earthbound was even on my radar is because in the collector world, it's like a Grail game for the Super NES. It's the most sought after Super NES game. And just a few things from its Wikipedia pages. Earthbound came out in 1995, and it was pretty much a flop. Um, Pretty much a flop in the US. They didn't sell a lot of titles. So when you don't sell a lot of a game and then people find out it's good and it kind of gets a cult following, it pretty much goes up in value. One of the other major things that Earthbound is stuck out in the collector world is that it did not come in a typical Super NES box standard size because it came with a strategy guide on the inside. So every Earthbound box that you see is going to be bigger than your standard SNES box. But anyway, it's Earthbound was a second it was a second chapter to a game called Mother. It's actually Mother 2 in Japan, but it's Earthbound in the US. And it's kind of Japan's depiction on America, because when you think of RPGs, you think of fantasy RPGs, your Final Fantasies, your Dragon Warriors, your Dragon Quest, those type of things. This is pretty much a boy and his three friends and his dog, and he wakes up in the middle of the night. A meteor has crashed somewhere outside his house in his town. Your first whole level, your first 4 or 5 levels, is just exploring the town like any good RPG would let you do. I'm up to level 7 now on it. I've defeated like the first boss, which is a bully in a pool hall. Well, it's actually an arcade that's
Yeah.
been overtaken by these gangs of kids that wear shark uniforms, and they're literally called the Sharks. And like in the Sharks, and what was the movie, the play I'm thinking of, the
I like West Side
West
Story.
Side Story?
West Side Story, yeah. And but there's a
just get
lot
some
of
culture,
humor.
bro.
There's a lot of like fart humor in it. There's like some stuff that like people like just tell you to get lost, or people are really rude to you, and if they don't like you, and it just comes out in the depictions of the dialogue. Um, but it plays kind of like an RPG. You walk around, there's different mobs that are kind of lurking, and they come after you, and you end up fighting them. But um, I just wanted to play something I knew nothing about, never played before, never picked up before, and I pretty much got an emulator to play it because I'm never gonna own this game on console. I'll be lucky or have to sell a kidney to own this game and actually play it. So I downloaded an emulator so I could be able to stream a little bit of it, but I'm hoping to stream a little bit more because it's a really interesting game, and I found myself playing it. Like I said, I streamed an hour, but I played for about 2 or 3 hours just
Nice.
getting the first little
Well,
bit up.
just
But it
remember
was
to announce it to your fans whenever you start streaming it.
no. I want to be able to talk to my fans when I stream it, so I may have to get it going down here in the old dungeon, and so I can react to all my family and friends.
Yeah, but that's awesome. I would love to watch Opie stream retro games, and Earthbound is, like you said, it's one of the classics. I've never played it. It's on the old SNES Classic. I think you
Oh,
mentioned
that's
that
all right.
too.
Yeah, I meant to mention that as well. It's
But
on
I've
the
never
SNES.
played it on this thing either. So maybe I'll
It's
give it a
unique.
shot.
It's unique. It's not your typical RPG, and like I said, I've just barely just got into the very first part of the story. So I'm going to continue on that and let you know how it goes.
Nice.
I read on the Wikipedia page that there was a Japanese only Mother 3 for Game Boy Advance.
Whoa.
So that's something to kind of keep an eye out for too, I guess.
Maybe we've got contacts in Japan that could.
Ooh,
that
maybe.
could find that for
Or
us.
know people who might be going over there next year.
Whoa.
Maybe.
Maybe.
if the
Ooh,
rest of the world lets Americans travel there again.
That's
what if,
true.
or what if we did a remote podcast from Japan,
Whoa, you just blew my mind.
from Akihabara? Forget about it.
You're in the
Forget about it.
middle, like just right in the middle of Akihabara,
Just
like out in the
set up a
street.
table inside Super Potato, and just
I'd listen to
for
that.
those
I'd watch
who
that.
don't know, Super Potato is this really famous retro video game store in Japan. Anyway, so I know Michael, sorry, Opie is going to be pretty stoked for this. Matt, maybe not so much since he doesn't really like WoW anymore, but
I didn't say I don't
uh,
like it. I just don't. I have put that on the shelf. You know, it's been retired in my house.
World of Warcraft Shadowlands is releasing on October 27th. So what is this, the 8th? Is this number 8? I think it's the 8th expansion.
Well, you've got vanilla.
Oh, geez, don't make me run through them.
You've got vanilla. You've got Burning
Burning
Crusade.
Crusade,
Then you've
and
got
then Lich
um,
King.
Lich King. Then you've got Panda.
Matt's falling asleep.
Then you got Pandas,
Cataclysm,
Cataclysm,
Draenor,
Draenor.
and then
Then
Legion.
Legion. Yeah, this is 8. Oh, no, this is 9. Legion, and now you've
Well, you
got
can't.
Battle for
Yeah,
Azeroth.
so the 8th. Okay. Well, shoot, jeez. So there's a lot.
Yeah,
So World of Warcraft's been around for a long time.
You guys are a
Without
bunch
a
of
doubt,
nerds.
without a doubt, the most popular MMO of all time, right? I mean, it's
Yes.
got to be by
Yeah.
subscriptions and all that
Yes.
stuff. But their next expansion, and Opie and I still play, especially when the new expansions come out. Like our whole little guild
Yep.
kind of hops back in and uh, gets all into it, at least for a few months.
Yep.
So we'll definitely be doing that
We've
at
got
the
a
end of
guild
October.
Rune Totem
Oh
server.
yeah, yeah. If you do play
So,
WoW or you want to dust it off, they've made it. They've kind of done a level squish, so
oh yes.
so now it's just back to level 60, right?
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
so it's really easy now. If you kind of got left behind, you can jump back in, buy this expansion, hop on the Rune Totem North America server with us on Alliance, and just play. We have a good time. There's probably like 6 or 10 of us.
Yeah, 6 to 10, depending on, if everybody gets on. I mean, we're
Yeah,
pushing 10. Our goal is to get like 10 to 15 players so we
yeah,
can, do some of that content. But it's a fun time. It's a really fun time. We've got our own Discord for our guild. We hop on in the chat. We're super laid back. All of us have, you know, real life families, so we don't require, people to play a teen amount of hours
yeah,
a day to get to where you are, and you're not going to have to. I mean, a lot of stuff's dumbed down. I don't want to say dumbed down, but it's just, in an expansion, you do have to level at a decent rate according to the story they've given you. But on the flip side of that, we have our fearless guild leader, DC Hooper on Twitch. He's kind of plugged into the WoW universe, and he's saying that people are saying it's not going to be ready.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, he's saying that they may release, the beginning game, but the end game's nowhere near ready. He said a lot of the alpha
Hmm.
and beta players, especially the streamers that he watches, and Asmongold's the only streamer that I really watch, and I've tried. I don't like betas, and I don't like watching the gameplay. I just want to play the game and experience
Right.
it myself. But a lot of times they're not loving it so far. They're not loving it, so who knows? Everybody's going to play it for a little while anyway, so it's something that I enjoy to do.
Yeah, and we'll be able to hit back on it
Yeah.
later on as it gets closer and keep you updated and see if it does actually release on the 27th. But maybe we can even get Matt back in. You
Nope.
never know.
Nope.
Okay, maybe not.
Maybe not.
I don't hate it. Like I said, I don't hate it. I'm just I'm
You're
just
done with
retired.
it.
Yeah, I'm retired.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, they don't really change the playbook. Like the new expansion comes out, it's pretty much the same thing, but just so if you're into that kind of thing, you're gonna love it. But it could wear people down, and I mean, shoot, I've been playing this game before I haven't had kids, and I got
Yep.
13-year-old.
Same
So
here.
I mean, it's sometimes I'm just like, man, that game. Anyway, let's move on. Matt, Rise of the Black Panther.
Let's go.
Yeah, so
I know this one kind of hits home to you, especially hard with the news of Black Panther.
Yeah, so Chadwick Boseman, sadly, very, very sadly, the world was sad to hear about his passing on Saturday. Or was it? Oh, I'm sorry. It was Friday. It was the 28th. I read this on Saturday, which is where I was getting mixed up. But yeah, he unfortunately lost his battle with colon cancer on Friday after battling with it for 4 years. Of course, I guess he was best known for playing Black Panther in all the Marvel movies he was in. But of course, he played Jackie Robinson, and he was in some other cool movies. Like I watched Message from the King on Netflix, which is really good. 21 Bridges, which was a cool like detective sort of story. He's in a lot of stuff and he was fantastic in everything. But for me, I mean, obviously being a comic book fan, my closest connection with him was, Black Panther and Civil War and Infinity War and Endgame. So it was really sad. And I do my my Comics Daily Twitter account where I read a comic every day, and but I only read 6 issues a week, which means there's one day that it's kind of a wild card. Like I don't really have anything scheduled. Usually it's on a Saturday. So I wanted to read something. This was yesterday. I wanted to read something to sort of commemorate him in a small way. So I wanted to read some Black Panther. So there was a 6-issue miniseries that came out in 2018 called Rise of the Black Panther. And it just kind of its own self-contained little miniseries about T'Challa's early days of becoming the king of Wakanda, becoming Black Panther. The first issue really more dealt with his father being Black Panther and the birth of T'Challa. And it was just a really cool mini-series about, like I said, his early days, dealing with, making some hard decisions, because at the time, Wakanda was still hidden from the world. So if you think about how in the Black Panther movie, Wakanda was hidden from the world, and at the end, he revealed Wakanda to the world and all their technological advances. And this miniseries was kind of about that, and a lot of people were against him. And there were some cool fights too. He fought with Namor in one issue. He fought with Winter Soldier, Doctor Doom. And Craig just left.
I wonder why.
Hold up, everybody. Our production assistant Craig disappeared.
Be like Dr. Disrespect. Start yelling at Craig.
So it's one of those failed to join messages again. I wonder if you just get him back in here, if he'll start up again, which means you'll probably have two different things to edit together. So for those watching
in real time, people.
That's right. So for those watching live,
this is live.
This is live. We hide all this stuff in the audio version.
That's right.
You guys think that podcasting is easy?
You think we're that perfect once it comes out?
I wonder if it's. So it came up and it said something about I will record up to 6 hours. Recordings are deleted automatically after 7 days from the start of recording. So I mean, if they're deleted automatically, then it's not like I've reached 6 hours or something, right? And
right. Probably just delete it off of their server after 7 days.
You think I should just bring Craig back in, or download that link for what we've already recorded and then finish it up?
Did it shoot you a link when he left?
Yeah.
I think just pull him back in.
Okay.
If you've got 2 separate links, at least you got 2 separate links.
Yeah, you'll have 2 separate download links.
Okay. Do you remember about where you were?
Yeah. So probably what you'll need to do is kind of listen and sort of splice it together to where it's seamless.
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm just saying.
Seamless. All right. Hold on. All right. I guess I got the. Come on, Craig. Get back in here, you turd.
Now recording.
So there was some good action too. There was an issue where he had to fight against Namor. He fought against Winter Soldier, Doctor Doom. He had an encounter with Storm. Of course, they got married eventually later. But it was just, I won't go on about it too much. But it was just a good story to read that showed you the character of the Black Panther. Not only how much of a badass he is, but just how he just wants the best for his country, for his people. he's how caring he is, but he'll make tough decisions if he has to. I just wanted to just read some Black Panther. And I had never I didn't know much about this series, but it was a good one to read as a way to just just read some good Black Panther stories and just remember Chadwick Boseman. I mean, it would have been cool to see some of these stories as a movie. And just as I'm reading this, I'm thinking about how cool it would have been, how cool it would have been to see him do some of this stuff. And it was just he was just taken way too soon. It was pretty sad.
Was it widely known that he was sick?
I don't think so.
I had no clue.
I don't think so. Not to the general public. I mean, maybe to his closest friends and family, but
when it was announced, I was just like, "What?" I didn't really understand what was going on.
Yeah. So just if you want to learn more about the Black Panther as who he is as a character, check out the Rise of the Black Panther 6-issue mini series from 2018. It's fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's switch over to Google Play. Is now going to be YouTube Music. Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
So if you have a Google Play account and you have some music where you bought, you're going to have to create a YouTube Music account and migrate all those over. Is what it looks like.
Yep. I did that this week. It's something that starts popping up if you use Google Music, and I kind of flip flop. I subscribe to Spotify, another streaming service right now, but my kids take over the account. They've logged in. I've logged them in with my account, and they just mess up my algorithm. And if I'm
Ariana Grande,
yeah, Justin Bieber, what?
Exactly? It's no joke. And if
Uzi,
and if I'm listening to something, and then my daughter wants to get on and listen to something, it overrides what I'm listening to, and then I try to override it back, and we're fighting back and forth on which device is listening to Spotify. Anyway, so I kind of bounce back to Google, and I kind of like Google from the beginning. I mean, you could go back to another podcast I was on when Google Music first came out, and everybody was on the iTunes train at the time. I was an Android guy, and like we didn't have a music service that really justified that could compare to iTunes, and you couldn't get iTunes on an Android phone back then at the beginning. And one of the big draws to the Android and the Google Music that the Android phone could get is you could import your entire CD collection into, if you had it in digital format. And at the time, I pretty much had ripped my whole entire CD collection and put it into iTunes, and then I just had the files. I still have the files on a hard drive, and I uploaded them all to Google Music. So I had my entire all my CDs, and we're talking early 2000s, mid 2000s when this was going on. This is way before streaming services and before you could look up any single song that you wanted. So I had all that still in my Google Music account. So when YouTube Music started popping up that you're going to have to transfer your account, I'm like, okay, that's not a big deal. I just didn't want to have to watch a video. I thought that you were going to have to just watch YouTube Music videos the entire time, but they've pretty much taken the streaming format, a music format, and just reskinned it. It's a whole Chrome extension. You can install if you want to listen to it on your desktop. And of course, it's an app on your phone. They did have to transfer my library over. It took a few hours to do from one account to this new platform. What's really cool is you can listen to some songs on there. And if there's a video, it'll play the video from YouTube, and you can also see the lyrics as well. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Apple Music does that. It shows you all the lyrics, and it's really fun.
Yeah, but other than that, it's a pretty simple streaming platform. There's nothing really to write home about. It's nice and clean. It looks like it's easy to find stuff. I've not subscribed to this, so I guess I'm still experiencing the ads, but it's just going to throw in that YouTube experience where it's going to have a separate section of music videos for your songs. And of course, if you import your personal library in, it's going to automatically generate those artists that you like and set that algorithm up to where it suggests a lot of stuff for you. So everything that I had over, I had some playlists saved on my Google Music account. The only thing that I can't find that I really enjoyed, and you guys have seen me, I've posted this on social media a couple of times. I like hitting the random button. There's like a dice a button on Google Music that you can click, and it just will randomly start a playlist. And sometimes you can get a really good playlist going from that, and it just drives me crazy because when I shut the app down, I know they'll lose that playlist or whatever. Like, it can really pick out some good songs or songs you've not heard for, or different songs from artists that you normally listen to, because it kind of dips into your algorithm a little bit. But other than that, it looks good. I'm just going to just keep trying it out and give you guys an update, or anybody else has tried it can let us know how they like it.
Yeah, I pretty much just use Spotify, so you have to update us and let me know how YouTube Music is.
Yeah, I really need to trim down my streaming music services because it's about to drive me crazy. And I have to keep reminding myself. I'm waiting for, if you listen to last episode, Mark Hoppus's new episode to come out. When does it come out, Matt?
I think it's on Thursdays. He's got 2 so far.
Okay, I haven't seen the second one, and that's again. Why doesn't my app tell me that there's a new episode? I haven't even seen it. I've listened.
Mine didn't either. I just had to go look for it, and
unbelievable.
And it started me. I listened to it a while. I tried to listen to more today. It started me from the beginning again. It's unbelievable. It's not great. Yeah.
It's 2020. Can't we get this taken care of?
Yeah. Just release it as a podcast, Mark. Come on.
All right. Let's Bill and Ted Face the Music. So
yeah.
This was something I didn't. When I first saw it announced, I was like, okay, I guess, somebody. It's kind of like one of those Adam Sandler movies that come out and you're like, okay, I know this has an audience. I don't know if I'm going to watch it, but.
So you watched you obviously we all grew up in the 80s, 90s. Mm-hmm. You saw the first 2, right?
Sure, absolutely.
So you can't not watch this one. I mean, it's the next Bill and Ted. I
don't know if I watched the trailer, and I don't know if I really have any inkling to watch it.
So it was released, I think on Friday, or maybe it was either Thursday or Friday, and I watched it Friday night, and it's I didn't hate it at all. I wasn't mad that I watched it. It was, I do think that the only people who will get any joy out of it are people like us who grew up with the first 2 movies. I
kind of references to the old stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of references.
Stallions.
Wild Stallions. It references both movies.
Okay.
So you kind of need to have seen both movies, the first and second movies, to understand really what's going on in this one. It's funny, but it's really silly. So I do wonder if, however old I was when the first 2 came out, if me at that age watched this one, I probably would have thought it was just as funny and good as the first 2. But now that I'm a little older or whatever, it was still funny, but I still kind of found it a little bit silly, which then makes me wonder, well, shoot, if I watch the first 2 at this age, will I think those are silly? I kind of don't think I would. Like, I think this one, it is a little weird to see Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter at the age they're at now still acting like they did in the first 2, but it would have been weird if they didn't act that way. So in that regard, I'm glad that they still. I mean, I don't want to be harsh on it. It was fun. I was a fan. I grew up with the first 2. We all did. I was a fan of them. I still am. This one is. It's probably a worthy successor, I suppose. So I didn't hate it. It wasn't maybe quite as fun and great as I was hoping it would be. But I honestly think if you grew up with the first 2 and you enjoyed them as a kid, give this one a shot. Let's see what you think.
I saw they got the original Keanu's dad, back, right?
From the first, there was a lot of people. Remember
the Grim Reaper?
Yeah, the Grim
looks
Reaper.
Like the same guy.
It is William Sadler. He's been in a whole bunch of things.
Death.
Yeah, he was in it. Do you remember? Yeah. I had forgotten about this. You remember the woman who played Missy, who was in the first movie? She was Bill's stepmom, and the second movie she was Ted's stepmom. Like, she's in this one too, just for a little bit.
Hot.
Yeah, well, she's in this. She marries. It's not a spoiler because it happens at the beginning. She marries Ted's younger brother in this one.
Oh, geez.
Oh, wow.
So there's a funny scene about now that makes you your own uncle or something like that. I don't remember what it was,
Right.
but the premise of this one is that in the first two Wild Stallions writes a song that unites the world. Well, it turns out that in this one we find out that not only does it unite the world, but it saves reality because all the time traveling they did in the first one sort of ripped a hole in space time. So there's this whole throughout the movie, there's these historical figures that keep popping up in just random other times.
Oh, geez.
And so reality is folding in on itself basically. So not only is their song going to unite the world, but it saves reality. They have to but they don't know what the song is, so they try to steal it from their future selves, and so there's a lot of Bill and Ted meeting other Bill and Ted, just like in the first movie, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Well, if
It's
they
something I
can
might
make this
check out at some
right,
point.
if they can make this movie, they can make a new Pauly Shore movie,
Oh,
like Son-in-Law 2.
Oh, I don't know about that
How about
because
Biodome? Return to the
I used to love
Biodome.
Biodome. I used to love
That is
Biodome.
such a bad movie. I
Encino
can
Man.
remember going to the
I
theaters
used to
and
love
seeing
Encino
Biodome.
Man.
Dude, Encino Man. I love that movie. No wheezing the Juku-Hoos. Like, there were so many great lines
Hey, maybe
in
we can
Encino
have a
Man.
Dude, Where's My Car too?
No,
That would
that
that
wasn't
would
a good
hold up.
movie. No,
No,
That wasn't
no,
a good movie.
no.
no. But
Just the bro duo movies,
yeah, there's a
that
lot of
would be
those.
a good discussion to have. What's the worst bro duo
What's the
movies?
what's
It's
the
like
best Dude Bro movie?
the
Ooh,
Dude
we
Bro
should rank
movies.
them. Rank
Because
bro
you've
duo
got
movies.
Biodome is definitely one, and Dude, Where's My Car, and then Bill and Ted.
Both Bill,
So
or I guess all three Bill and Ted's, Encino Man,
yeah.
anything Pauly Shore, basically. Um,
In the Army Now, do you remember
yeah,
that one?
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Gosh, the Weasel.
But
Dude, it
yeah,
was so
so
good.
yeah, so check it out if you like the first two. Check it out, see what you think. I'm not hating on it. It was fun. It was a fun
Yeah.
hour and a half, and and it was one thing I'll say is Keanu Reeves is like one of the most popular actors in the world, and he's in Germany right now filming Matrix 4. There's going to be a John Wick 4. He's in all these big movies, and yet he still came back and made this. So that's awesome. I mean, I kind of I give him props for he could have easily said no to this.
Right. He probably did
And
it more for the
he,
rest of the cast.
I feel like he did it for the cast and for the
And
fans.
yeah,
Which
yeah, he did.
that's awesome.
Yeah, he didn't need to do it. And he knew he'd probably take a lot of crap because he does look odd, having it aged, but having his, looking like he did back then. So it looks a little weird first time you see him, but I give him credit too, man.
Yeah.
He's such a cool guy.
Yeah, it was awesome of him to do it.
Uh, you want to talk about Superman, Man of Tomorrow?
Yeah, so this was a last minute edition, and I won't spend long on this because we're running short on time. But I just watched this one a couple of hours ago, or probably 5 hours ago. So Superman, Man of Tomorrow is the newest DC animated movie. So DC has been putting out animated movies for the last 13 years, I think, something like that. And there's dozens and dozens of them, and a lot of them are not all of them, but a lot of them take place in a shared continuity. So you watch one, and then you watch the next one, which is kind of takes place after that one, and then there's another one that comes after that, and they continue on, right? So the last one, called Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, that one was crazy. That one was violent. There was violence and cussing, and everybody died at the end, basically.
Whoa.
And so at the end of that one, well, something happened in that one where reality was reset, basically, and it didn't lead into this one, but this movie, Superman, Man of Tomorrow, it's its own thing. It's not connected to any of the past movies, and it's about a young Superman. We don't have to go through his origin story again, but it does take place around the time that Clark first becomes Superman. For the first little bit, he's just in jeans and a aviator's cap with some goggles to hide his identity. He doesn't even become Superman until 2/3 of the way through or whatever. So it's kind of like sort of a reset, basically. He has Lobo's in it. They have to fight Parasite. You've got a young Lex Luthor, a young Lois Lane, who's just now becoming a reporter, and so it all takes place like Superman looks like he's in his 20s. And it was interesting. It wasn't quite as good as I wanted it to be, but it was still entertaining enough. And I'm hoping that it's the start of a new animated universe where, because they actually reference Batman a couple times, so I would love to see a Batman animated movie done in this same animation style that takes place in the same universe. They don't have to necessarily meet up, but I would love to see a Batman movie in this same continuity and just see them maybe sort of reset their animated universe, just like they did with they moved the New 52 storyline or a series of comics into the Rebirth, and so I kind of feel like that's what they're doing with the animated movies as well. Is you had this several years worth of movies that were connected, and then that all got reset, and now you're gonna have this new set of movies. So I don't know that that's the direction they're going, but I hope it is. Because this would be a great start. So if you're into the DC animated movies, most of them are pretty good. Give this one a shot. The animation style is way different than the other ones. Looks completely different, and in my opinion, it looks better. I like it better than a lot of the last several movies.
I watched the Batman Ninja couple years ago.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, it was all right. It was kind of cool, but just seeing all the uniforms and stuff, the outfits,
Yeah,
was kind of neat. But yeah, the
that
story
was a fun one.
Story wasn't super great, but yeah, the animated shows that they do are really good because they're like full length movies.
Right. Yeah, this one was like an hour and a half long. So yeah, if you're into any of this kind of stuff at all, check that one out. It's not. I wasn't mad that I watched. I try to rate movies of is it worth watching? Should I pay for it? Should I wait till it hits streaming or something like that? But this one, I wasn't upset that I watched it at all. So check it out if you're into that stuff.
Awesome. Opie, you want to hit on our social media before we get out of here?
Yes, everyone out there, you can catch us or talk to us or contact us. Follow us on Twitter at Anything Newcast, Instagram, or on the gram, as the kids like to call it,
as the youth say.
As the youth say, at Anything New Podcast, and we have a Gmail, Anything New Podcast at gmail.com, where we've got a pretty cool offer going on, James, right, with the old Gmail.
Yeah, we're still taking just send us an email, anythingnewpodcast at gmail.com. Send us a message on there and we'll get you some free Steam game keys for just different random various games that I've collected game keys for that I haven't used. So
does the email need to be about anything, or just send us an email about anything?
Or maybe just something on something one of our listeners has been into and want us to check out.
There you go.
How about
we're
this?
always telling you.
We'll shout you out on the next podcast, and we'll send you a key if you send us an email. Let us know what you're into.
And we're always telling you guys what we're watching. Tell us what you're watching or playing or reading, and then maybe we'll check it out.
Let's
give our review.
If email is too hard, DM us on any of our social media.
Just slide into our DMs.
Yeah. Slide into the DMs. Give us a little blurb about what you're doing. We'll shout you out on the next podcast. We'll give you a game key.
Sounds good. You guys got anything else before we wrap this one up?
I got one quick thing.
Go ahead. I was just going to say Facebook. Also, we got an Anything New page. We're slowly building a following there. And the iTunes, where you download us. Where any cool podcasts are found, you're probably going to find us.
Yeah, Spotify, iTunes, Pocket Cast, all that stuff. I got one thing just super quick. I didn't get it from a getting place, but I did get a thing. It was actually a birthday present for my mom, dad, and sister that I actually only just got yesterday because they came down yesterday to celebrate my birthday from a week ago, and so audio listeners, sorry, we'll put pictures in the socials, but I got this cool little Stan Lee statue. It's an Iron Studios Stan Lee, and this is the front, so where that is right there, and it's supposed to be like he's sitting in his chair looking back at you. But that I love that. I mean, he created pretty much all my favorite characters that I grew up with, and I've got the Stan Lee Marvel Legends figure. I've got a cool Stan Lee print hanging on the wall in my living room, and I think that's just I love this. So
And
for
it
those
was probably-
listening,
And that's not a Funko Pop. It's just
this is Iron Studios. This is just
How dare you, sir? How dare you compare that to a Funko Pop?
yeah, this is way better than a Funko. Way more detailed. It's not a bobblehead or anything like that. It's just a little statue. It's not porcelain, but it's like it's kind of neat. So for those listening via audio, we'll have picture. I'll put a picture up on the socials. But yeah,
Looks cool.
That's my new thing that I really like.
Well, awesome. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. We got next week, episode 5. So, you guys got anything else before we go?
That's it for me, man.
everybody be
Opie?
safe.
All right, sounds good. We'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Later.